Hey parents and students, thank you for taking the time to review this Title I information session with me. It's only going to take a couple minutes. As you know, I emailed you some information regarding Title I and why that's important for iSucceed as we move forward into the next school year, and what you can do to help out and to participate here in the future. With that said, I just have a few slides here with a little bit of information to go over and some contact information at the end. So here we go. So what is Title I? Some of you may be familiar with it. Perhaps you work for school districts or you've come from schools that have received Title I funds. Well, first of all, Title I is the largest federal aid program that's available to public schools in the U.S. The money that is given to the schools is based on the income level of families in each district. And the great thing about it is that districts can use that money in a wide variety of ways to help their students essentially achieve all the same standards, the high standards that are required of all students, using a variety of different ways. It could be through academic programs, support programs, enrichment programs. It could be parental involvement activities. It could be replacing technology or even training teachers and staff to better assist our students. There's three important things I want you to remember as we're talking about Title I. First, all students are working toward the same high standards. So again, you may have a group of students that we identify as needing what's called targeted assistance, and in that we can provide them with additional resources, or it could be that we do a school-wide program depending on our percentage of what the federal government identifies as being low income, which I'll talk about in a few minutes. Districts and schools and parents know what is best for their students and what they need in order to succeed. That is why you parents need to be involved in this, and it's critical that we have your feedback. In fact, if and when we receive Title I funds, you'll be hearing from me quite a bit, because I will be asking you for feedback in terms of accountability for what we're doing academically and also financially with the funding that we would receive from the government. And also, parents are partners in helping students achieve their success. You guys already know that. This program just reinforces it by the opportunities that are given to parents to be involved. All right, so as I mentioned before, the funding that is provided to schools through Title I can be used for a wide array of programs and activities and resources for schools. It can be anything from summer school to additional tutoring sessions. It could be teachers that are hired to do specific functions to help students. There could be additional training. There could be programs on the weekends, different school programs. Parents, maybe there's certain programs you've heard of that you're interested in, or maybe you've had some experience with that you've seen students improve academically. That's something you could bring to the table and we could discuss and perhaps utilize in the future. So that being said, you're a big part of this conversation, and the money can be used in many ways for many students, and that's the exciting thing about it. And finally, I mentioned targeted assistance. This is it's an interesting term, because we as a district or a school, and iSucceed is its own district, we identify who the students are that need the most assistance, typically based on academic performance, historical grades, how they've done on standardized assessments, and talking to students and parents and teachers. Oftentimes this might be students that are the furthest behind in credits. Maybe they need a program that will help accelerate their academics so they can get caught up. But as a school community, and parents, you're a part of that school community, we decide what the students are in the most need of. Now, the last bullet point you see there, titled School-Wide Title I Project, If a school is above 50% qualification for Title I funding, then that means that all students within the school would receive the benefits of the Title I funding. If it's below 50%, then we identify the groups of students or the courses in which students would participate in, or the programs that the Title I funding would be used to assist students with. It's my belief that we would more than likely be over 50%, which means that all students in our school would benefit from this funding. So how can you help? Well, there's a couple things that I mentioned in an email, and I want to reinforce it here. We do have a confidential questionnaire form that we attached to the email for you to review and to complete. It's very important that you complete this. I know it takes a little bit of time, but this is information that's not unlike the information that's part of the registration process.